Tonight on your 5 News at 10, new developments in the fallout over the Uvalde school shooting. Leaders in the school district there voting tonight to remove their police chief over the failed response to that shooting.
Plus, we'll also have the latest on federal investigations into the use of force by 3 law enforcement officers in Crawford County. Thanks for joining us for your 5 News at 10. I'm Erica Thomas.
And I'm Darren Bobb. A man sits behind bars after a woman's battered body found wrapped in a comforter 2 weeks ago.
Now at 4:30, a less than rosy picture of the Rose City. White House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is paying a visit to our area and how local leaders are reacting. And a major announcement from President Biden. When we expect to find out whether millions of Americans will see thousands in student loan debt wiped clean. And keeping track of the push to get more substitute teachers into Oregon's classrooms. What could happen come October to fix that dire shortage?
This is K2 News This Morning on your side.
Good morning, everybody. This is a live look from our standard camera over downtown Portland and the Willamette River at 4:30 on this Wednesday, August 24th. Thank you.
7 News at 5 starts right now.
Former students have waited and waited.
I feel like I won the lottery.
Today, the president finally made the announcement.
I'm honoring that commitment today. We will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans.
Some student loan debt will be canceled for millions of Americans.
People can finally crawl out from under that mountain of debt.
Tonight, we're going in depth on the president's plan, what this means for borrowers here in Colorado.
I am grateful for $10,000 because it's $10,000 I didn't have.
Plus, one GOP group now looking to recall a Colorado politician who recently decided to switch parties.
And another big sign of progress and moving forward after the Marshall fire. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Shannon Ogden. Glad you're with us tonight. 45 million people in the U.S. owe more than $1.6 trillion in federal loans taken out for college. That is more.
ABC 10 Morning News at 5 starts now.
That is a beautiful view, and so is the one behind us. Good morning. Welcome to ABC 10 Morning News at 5. I'm Walt Gray.
And I'm Conchetta Callahan. Yeah, it's a beautiful view and hopefully a beautiful day. How are the roads looking?
All right, welcome to ABC 10 News at 11 o'clock. I'm Walt Gray. Thank you for joining us here. The White House has just announced it's going to provide $10,000 in student debt cancellation.
You're watching KESQ, the Desert's news leader. This is News Channel 3, live at 11.
Good evening. I'm Karen Devine. John White has the night off. We begin tonight with a first alert weather alert issued for tomorrow as monsoonal thunderstorms are expected across parts of the desert.
From the only station with your first alert forecast, KYOU News starts now.
Police, the major step that's now done.
Now, with 11 minutes of nonstop news and your certified most accurate forecast. This is 11 News at 10.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lindsay Boach.
Hello, everybody. I'm Adam Atchison. First at 10, thousands of Coloradans with federal student loans.
The Fox 29 10 o'clock news starts now. We've got you covered.
Student loan debt could soon be a thing of the past for millions of borrowers.
It's not life-changing and it's not world-changing, but I'll take it.
I've racked up a lot of debt and it would be a huge financial blessing.
And 2 men are behind bars after investigators say they stole more than a dozen catalytic converters. How they were caught, straight ahead.
But first, breaking news right now. It's been almost 4 months since the tragic shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas.
Now, just hours ago, the school board voted to fire Police Chief Pete Arredondo.
Tonight, it was heated. We hear more about the discussion at the meeting surrounding the Copenhagen Fire Department. Officials now have decisions to make. Also, as students return to SUNY Canton, there's news of student loan forgiveness out of Washington. And plans for a marina and hotel in Ogdensburg fall through, but officials say there are new plans for the waterfront site.
You're watching the North Country's news station. 7 News this evening starts now. Live from downtown Watertown, here's Jeff Cole.
A fire department on the brink. The Copenhagen Fire Department has 2 options, either hand over control to the village or dissolve. We have more from the meeting last night with
The only Yakima News team taking action for you. KIMA Action News starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Here's what's happening. A new development in the case of an elderly Union Gap couple murdered in their own home. Police want you to check out some photos they sent to us today.
Plus, Washington hospitals facing a dire situation. The news at 6:30 starts right now.
Now, Cap KVU local news at 6:30.
An employment crisis, that's what the manager at Benton County Emergency Management calls the need for dispatchers.
The search continues tonight for the person who shot a man at a townhome complex in Greenville. More on the arrests police have already made.
And how an organization is honoring fallen service members as they travel across the U.S.
From WCTI, this is News Channel 12 at 11.
Havelock police are now looking for 2 men who were caught on camera damaging a helicopter displayed in front of the Tourist Event Center.
A boat explosion caught on camera in Daytona Beach, what investigators believe may have caused this boat to go up in flames.
Plus, we're 1 week away from NASA beginning its quest to return to the moon. The preparations underway ahead of next Monday's targeted launch date.
And tomorrow is Election Day here in Florida, the voter turnout that we are seeing so far in our local counties. Good morning on this Monday.
Local, live, late breaking. West 2 News Sunrise starts now.
Good morning on this Monday. Thank you for joining us on Sunrise. I'm Meredith McDonough.
And I'm Jason Guy. We're here at 5:17, getting back on the air. We'll talk a little bit about that whole situation in a moment, but we do need to get you your forecast. It's so important as we get this work week and school week started.
Yes, Mayor Jason, back to you. Jacqueline, thank you. We wanted to take a moment to make you aware of a situation at West 2 News overnight. A threat was called in, which forced an evacuation of our station. We were not able to air our 10 or 11 p.m. newscast or the beginning of Sunrise while police investigated. Employees were brought back into the station once police cleared the building and deemed that it was safe to return. We will continue on with our local headlines.
North Texas breaking daily rainfall records.
With cars submerged underwater, dozens of rescues taking place across DFW.
I'm glad I made it out that car.
Homes taking on water and people clinging on to one another as they leave all their belongings behind.
I've been doing this probably in a swift water team for about 11, 12 years. So it's probably one of the second or third worst that I've seen.
Live from downtown Dallas, WFAA News at 6 starts now.
This is getting really scary. We got little kids, and you don't want to make a decision you're going to regret. So we need to go now.
Families in North Texas forced to abandon their homes. Over the past few hours, first responders have been inundated with emergency calls. Firefighters in Dallas County have been wading through high water to carry babies and small children to safety. We've watched them rescue people in wheelchairs, as well as a lot of family pets. These images from Seagoville giving us a look at the aftermath of the heavy rains. These downpours left neighborhood streets looking more like rivers. And while the much needed soaking didn't end our drought, it got us much closer to where we need to be.
Yeah, the amount of rain today is staggering. Some areas received 12 to 15 inches of rain.
I just woke up and should I call 911? What do I do?
Torrential rain leads to flash flooding across North Texas, and tonight it's taken a deadly turn.
I mean, it started just pouring in from all sides of the house.
Families forced out of their homes, cars underwater, and hundreds of rescues.
Here in Seagoville, the water started rising and wouldn't stop. Coming up, we'll let you hear from the family at the end of that road that had to be rescued.
Well, I hope we don't ever see anything like this again.
And developing right now, parents packing 2 school board meetings. Tonight, the battle over books, race, and gender identity.
Is college tuition giving you sticker shock? What you should do now to lock in a free education
in tonight's Right on the Money. Live from downtown Dallas, WFAA News at 10 starts now. We haven't seen rain like this in nearly a century. All across North Texas, it wouldn't relent. First responders helped people caught in high water the entire day. In some cases, we saw them carrying babies, small children, and helping people in wheelchairs get to safety.
11 Alive News Primetime starts now.
The monkeypox outbreak continues growing in Georgia and across the nation. The CDC now confirming over 1,200 cases in.
Connecting you to the biggest stories impacting Florida. This is The News on Florida 24 Network.
Hello and welcome to Florida 24 Network. I am Jennifer Dela Cruz. Florida in Focus starts soon, but first, let's take a look at your top stories across our state.
Floodwaters have wreaked havoc all across the metro today. We'll show you images from the raft that was left behind coming up.
Plus, dramatic water rescues as first responders work overtime in the dangerous conditions to keep you safe.
Heavy rain earlier today, now just scattered showers, but we still have more rain in the forecast. I've got details coming up.
3 on your side. WLBT News at 10 starts now.
Happening now, a Mississippi blood bank truck burst into flames on Interstate 20 earlier tonight, backing up traffic in both the east and westbound lanes for miles. Now, it happened near mile marker 72 in Pelahatchie.
This is KCBD News Channel 11 at 10.
I will never apologize for helping Americans, working Americans middle class.
This is Maine Things to Do, and we need your help. If you know of an event in your community, send it to our email address, mainethingstodo@newscentermaine.com, and try to give us at least a week's notice. Maine Things to Do, only on News Center Maine.
Maine reacts to President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan at 11.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight on 207. I'm Samantha York. Rob Caldwell is off this week. Tonight on 207, Scott Kirby is a singer-songwriter who is originally from New England, but now splits his time between Maine and Key West. He's going to
live from the German American Bank Studio in downtown Bowling Green. This is News 40 at 5 on NBC.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight on News 40 at 5. It's good to start off this Wednesday with you. I'm Megan Stamps. We'll go ahead and take a look at our first forecast with Chief Meteorologist Scott Burchett. Now, Scott,
live from the German American Bank Studio in downtown Bowling Green. This is News 40 at 6 on CBS.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight on News 40 at 6. It's good to see you on this Wednesday. I'm Megan Stamps. We'll go
now on Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
Thousands of dollars in student debt canceled. The plan announced by President Joe Biden. Who qualifies and the impact he says it will have on inflation.
I do know that justice has to be served.
A call for justice from a mother after her son was shot and killed. The new information from police as a suspect turns himself in. Plus, confusion over a power outage at a U.S. steel plant. All new at 6, what newly obtained documents reveal about an incident at the Clairton Coke Works in July.
Pittsburgh's Action News 4 starts right now.
Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday night at 6. I'm Mike Clark.
And I'm Kelly Sasso. We do begin with that big announcement from the
teacher stuck behind bars in Russia just gained new support.
It's been scary and hard for everyone.
I sat down with his niece to discuss how the effort to bring him home is picking up steam.
For some Southside business owners, it's not just crime they're worried about.
The last thing we want is anybody out late
in the bad parts of town trying to give somebody a parking ticket.
The reason the city is pulling back on parking enforcement here.
Uh-oh, the federal student aid website overwhelmed. People looking for answers. Tonight, we're digging deeper into the federal student loan forgiveness.
This is Channel 11, WPXI Tonight.
Tonight, the new effort to free a local teacher detained in Russia. Mark Fogel, who is from Oakmont, was arrested 11 months ago at a Russian airport for having less than an ounce of medical marijuana. And now a group of senators, including Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey, wants to reclassify his case.
And only Channel 11 News reporter Serafina James spoke to Fogel's family tonight.
It's 10 p.m. The best minds in the business are at the Hartford Healthcare Eye or Neuroscience Institute.
Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
I don't see why we can't help out students, the next generation.
Right now at 10, relief for millions of Americans with student loans. We look at the Biden administration forgiving some of that debt and how it will help people in Connecticut long after they left college.
Also, Fox 61 has new video tonight showing the suspected Buckland Hills Mall shooter moments after the shooting. We'll take a closer look at what happened after the mall security guard was shot in the stomach.
If you can't trust the teachers and stuff, who can you trust?
Concerns in one Connecticut town after several educators are arrested and accused of not reporting sexual abuse by a teacher. But we start with the cancellation of student loan debt for millions of Americans tonight. Good evening, I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Thanks for joining us. President Joe Biden is